Okay, I think we're live.
Hey, kids.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to
Well,
the Latino Slant ASMR.
yes, welcome to Latino Slant. Paulie, if you're there, we are live now, mate. Ready to talk about the box office for In the Heights?
Now we see you.
There he is. So we've got Paulie on the road at the moment. So I guess I'll share this article now then, so everybody else can see it. There we go. Okay. Can everybody see that?
Yep. Can you zoom on it?
I can.
Oh, Scotty, my favorite.
Okay.
Nice.
Right, yo. Okay, so I guess
Scott Mendelson.
I guess I'll start with the title of this. Obviously, box office In the Heights disappoints with $5 million Friday, as reported by Scott Mendelson at Forbes. Right. Okay. So the opening headline here says, "We tricked ourselves into convincing everyone that In the Heights was the next Mamma Mia, but really it may end up being the next Rent." Any thoughts on that?
I have a lot of thoughts.
Sucks. I hate paying rent.
Yeah, definitely. Don't we all?
Okay.
Well, no, like as far as Mamma Mia or Rent go, I wouldn't want to compare my movie to either one of those, even though Mamma Mia was a bit of a hit. Why?
Mamma Mia is terrible. It did kind of a bunch of money, but if you see it, the sequel did nothing. So
I couldn't see it. I was jabbing my eyes out the whole time.
Oh man.
And then trying to plug my ears. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
How much did this movie cost, out of curiosity, to make, just up front?
I think it's actually here in the article.
Oh, okay, good. We'll just get to that.
All right, then. So here we go. I'll start reading her off then. Right. Well, this is the first real heartbreaker of the summer. John M. Chu's acclaimed and buzzy In the Heights topped the box office last night with a frankly mediocre $5 million Friday. That includes previews on Thursday, and it points towards an over/under $15 million weekend launch. Warner Bros. Has been playing down expectations, partially because they didn't want to be that defensive for a debut in line with Rent, $17 million over a Wednesday to Sunday Thanksgiving launch in 2005. While the media, mea culpa, at least prior to COVID, was arguing for a $25 million to $35 million launch on par with Crazy Rich Asians. Warner sold the hell out of this one, and I don't look forward to folks blaming the marketing, which is the lazy excuse anytime a movie will think folks should have seen plays to empty auditoriums.
Can I hop in here unless Paulie has something to say right away? It says it's a $55 million movie. Okay. First of all, Rent making $17 million over a holiday weekend is shit. And the fact that we're just coming out of, or still in a lot of areas are still locked down, a lot of areas opening up. $5 million for a movie that I think is on HBO Max as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Yep. And it's the top box office movie, and it's not a superhero film, and it made $5 million one night, and it's going to probably make about 15. What the fuck is Scotty bitching about? It's the middle of June.
Yeah, we're just getting into the season.
It'd be different if it opened up against Avengers 6 and it only made $5 million. Yeah, it's dead. But $15 million for a movie like this in the middle of summer? What the fuck crack is he smoking?
Yeah. Scott
Sorry,
Mendelson
excuse my language here.
No,
but
you are completely right. And there are some people that thought this will be like Jaws. It will move everyone to the cinema. And it's not that. It's not. Sorry, I watched the movie. It's not even worth that. It will not move mouth to mouth like other movies. It will depend only on the marketing campaign that they have and maybe some goodwill. But they cannot say that $5 million for a Friday is bad in this case. It's good.
Especially, with the current times as well. It's
Yeah.
I don't know, what were they expecting? What really? So, do you want me to continue? You ready?
oh, please do. I'm sorry for that rant.
Oh no, Tom, rant away, mate. Rant away.
Oh, my rant is coming, but I need more information just to be able
Can
to
you guys
say
hear
it
me?
properly.
Now we can hear you.
Now we can hear you, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3-4 bars here, so I'm doing pretty good. I'm in the high
Nice.
desert. Hi, everybody. I can't see if anyone's in the chat, but if you are, thanks for joining us. Share the link, and I'm gonna be here for a little while. I got another 4 hours on the road, so not that we're gonna go 4 hours, but thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, I'm just going to whack the PayPal link in the chat again there for anybody who wants to send any tips over to the slant. So there we go.
Yeah, let's pay for the gas.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
So yeah,
I'm gonna see the film tonight, but it is a little premature, like to say that this is a flop.
Right.
It's a musical first. No stars, and coming out of COVID, and at this time, so to me, I'm surprised it did that well yesterday. So that's all I got right now so far.
No, and that's kind of what I was saying, Paulie, too. And I'm in agreement with you there, 100%. Like, this movie didn't cost that much; it only cost $55 million. And I think Pablo's making a decent point with it may not be the movie to go see in the theaters, but I wonder if a ton of people are watching it on HBO Max. Maybe a win for them there.
Yeah, I mean, what are the figures for HBO? So
we won't know for a while.
Yep.
Exactly.
I was looking for the box office for Les Miserables for the first weekend, and even that was a huge movie. Okay, Les Miserables was maybe one of the biggest musicals of the last decade, 20 years even, and it made opening 27 millions.
That's a big opening.
Yeah, for a full weekend. Yeah, I'm not talking about Friday. I'm talking about a full weekend. If this movie gets 50 millions, it's competing with Les Miserables, and Les Miserables was a bigger production in every single way.
Well, here's another one that's an even bigger one. Phantom of the Opera only did 150 million. 154.
Run.
It didn't even make its budget back.
Damn.
Because the budget was 80 million. Yeah, no way.
Ouch.
And how much was the budget for this movie?
This is 55 million, according to the next paragraph here that Bud Boy's been trying to get to.
Okay. Sorry.
Right. So yeah, do you want to rock on with that next paragraph then? See what they've got.
Yep.
See what our friend Scott has still got to say. Okay, here we go. Barring incredible legs, which is still possible, the $55 million In the Heights could be another example of audiences acting in opposition to online media narratives. We say we want Widows, but audiences show up for Venom, Halloween, and The Grinch. Film Twitter championed Birds of Prey, but audiences showed up for Joker. Film Twitter decried Peter Farrelly's Green Book and Bryan Singer's Bohemian Rhapsody, while both films from both problematic directors won multiple Oscars and grossed $322 million, the biggest grossing Best Picture winner in a decade, and $905 million, the biggest gross straight drama ever, respectively. Meanwhile, during that 2019 Oscar season, Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston's Problematic, The Upside, earned $108 $8 million domestic from a $20 million debut. Conversely, alt-right trolls didn't stop Captain Marvel from topping $1.128 billion, a lesson that came too late for Disney's Star Wars trilogy.
Fucker.
Oh, go on, Tom.
He is so a lot of butthurt. There's so much butthurt in this pair.
I thought you would love that.
Oh.
I thought of you guys when I read that.
Scotty!
And I'm going to say it right now, I'll probably be blocked from Scott Mendelson after the stream. Sorry, Scott.
I love you, Scotty. You're the gift that keeps on giving. Is that Polly's just saying, let me off the leash here, or what?
Where do I begin? Where do I begin with this? This is full of fallacies. First of all,
You ready for me to break this shit down?
Okay, let's go. First of all, he is trying to compare this movie with Joker, with Venom. What the hell is wrong with you? This is a musical. It's not the kind of movie that people that go to see Venom will normally see. If I didn't have to do the review, I will not even think about seeing this movie. I saw it and I have my gripes with it. This is not about the movie. This is about a stupid article, and he's missing completely the point. All other of the fallacies he's trying to set up, oh man, is about how the box office moves around. Okay, you are thinking about In the Heights. In the Heights is a Latino movie. There's a lot of people that think it will be low budget, it will be low production, and it is not. But that's the stigma that a lot of these movies have, and is the marketing people fault. I saw the marketing they are doing on Spanish, and they are saying this is the first Latino movie ever made on Hollywood, and we just came out of the Stand and Deliver reunion. That's a Latino movie made on Hollywood. Okay, it may not have the big budget, but is a Latino movie done there. So even through Latino companies that are trying to sell Latino movies to Latino people on Latin America, they are avoiding to talk about the other Latino movies, and they wonder why they cannot move. Sorry.
Don't be. Actually, you started off. I'm just want to be clear that Paulie's letting me off the leash here.
Yep.
Oh shit. Oh, Scott, king of bad takes, buddy.
Hey, before you do, I don't know. Is there any people in the chat that are chiming in?
Oh yes, let's see what the people in the chat are saying first of all. You're right.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Hi to everyone in the chat. Before you go off, let's talk to the chat for a minute, guys.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Six is here. She says, I'm here for the rants. So just another red shirt just finally saw Joker for the first time. He says, holy cow. Well, you get what you deserve. Just another red shirt. And if you enjoyed it, that's good. There you go. We got Rick Sanchez here. He's like, pedal with your feet, Paulie. Like the Flintstones. Kitty Bear says Paulie's on the road again. And then Soul Assassin says, what's a bomb? Which is a very good question. I think that should be answered. A bomb is where a movie cannot make the money back that it cost and is seen as a stinker. A movie that people will... A great example is movies like Howard the Duck always comes up as one of the most notorious bombs in history.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't as big of a bomb as people remember it as, it was still a movie that didn't make its money back. So you're talking about a movie that fails on every level, every single fucking level. Can't get a cult audience built up behind it. It's not a good movie. It bombs at the box office. That's where it comes from. But in this case here, Scotty, I'm going to tell you, you have a movie called In the Heights. I have not seen it. Pablo's seen it. He says he has his reservations about it. Paulie's supposed to see it tonight. I'm not going to speak to the film itself, but I will say this. You have a movie that's coming out right now that would normally be what's called counter programming.
Yep.
But it doesn't have anything to go up against. The next big movie is Fast 9, and that's like what, next week or the week after? Something like that.
He gets into that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie has been lucky enough that it caught this this article is Scotty, you're an asshole. You're making this movie about something it's probably not, unless Pablo, you can correct me. He's lumping this movie in with other quote unquote woke movies.
Okay, I don't want to spoil the movie because of Polly, but the movie has its woke parts. Is not completely woke.
Okay,
It has
that's
hard,
all we need to hear.
yeah. Okay.
So it's not built on the fact that it's this
No,
woke thing.
it
So
is not about wokeness.
this is what's pissing me off right now. Scotty is killing this movie.
Yep, he's
This
killing the
article
movie.
right here is going to destroy this movie's chances of ever going anywhere. And yes, Rick, you're probably right. I don't know if it's so much that Scotty is bored. He just probably didn't like the movie, or he's pissy that he did like the movie and people aren't going to see it. But he's being the movie's almost worst enemy right now. Because people are going to see this and they're going to see it as a woke movie because he's lumping it in with all these other woke movies. And then he's unfairly comparing it to movies like The Joker, The Grinch, and Halloween and Venom, which those last three that I just mentioned all came out in the Halloween season. So who's going to want to go see anything but something like Venom or Halloween on the Halloween season? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. It's
Also,
right.
there's something more important.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Pool. Okay, if you see, this is a Latino-oriented film, first of all. So they have been selling it as a Latino-oriented film. That's a big mistake. If you want the American public to go, you say it's a film, not a Latino film, because that calls only for Latinos. That's one of the gripes I have with the marketing with this movie. Second of all, they are not showing the true quality of the movie on the trailers. Third of all, the fallacy that this movie should have the same pull as the other movies, while if you see Venom, if you see Joker, if you see the movies that he is comparing it to, are for a different public that has the tendency to go day one to the cinema. That's something that you have to take in account. The artsy style people actually have reservations on going on day one, or if they have a premiere or something, they try to avoid that unless it's an artsy kind of event that they can go in front of the cameras, they can talk with the paparazzis. If they don't get that, they will avoid this, they will avoid the multitudes and go whenever they feel like, because that's the public that you are marketing this movie to. You are not targeting this movie to nerds. Nerds will go day one no matter what, because if you get a spoiler on Facebook, on Twitter about the movie that you wanted to see, you will be furious. You will want to burn the motherfucker that spoiled you the movie. But in this case, I don't see any lady that usually goes to get her hair done screaming about just spoil this movie. She will be, oh, so there's this scene, I will want to go to see this movie tonight with my husband. That's the target of this movie. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you're right, dude.
No,
totally
that was going
right.
to be my next point, kind of, was that, yeah, the audience for this movie is not the same audience of any of those other movies he mentioned outside of maybe Birds of Prey. And that's out of because of the fact that they made that like an anti-superhero movie.
And can we say Birds of Prey, not even Birds of Prey, it was the original Suicide Squad that got an Oscar. Or at least was nominated for an Oscar. So
yeah, what was that?
Hollywood prices don't mean shit right now, because they give prices to movies like Birds of Prey, or there was a Star Trek movie that won makeup. There was Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are wasting those prices. So who cares if it goes with a price or not? You care about the box office, you care about the quality of the movie, you care about the return of the movie, because the return will be long. Let's say right now the movie get its budget on. Oh, sorry, police signaling wrong.
Boy, just waving at us, I think.
Let's say just that simple fact. Okay, this movie on long term will still sell Blu-rays, will still move a lot of people only because it's this kind of artsy movie. It will be on festivals for a long time because it's an artsy movie. The Joker maybe will be on an artsy festival, but trust me, Venom will never be on a festival.
No, you know what this is all about here? It has less to do with what you're saying there, Pablo, I think. I could be wrong. But I think it has more to do with, look at all these movies that he's lumping in here. All these things were things he was wrong about.
Yep. Yeah.
And what he's saying basically is, I'm following the trends on Twitter and they're making me sound like an asshole. And basically he's bitching now because he was wrong if he made any predictions about this movie being right. And he's kind of hiding behind this fact that the media was projecting, 25 to 35 million, which the media is never right about their projections. And even if it,
yeah, that's true.
I think this is more him trying to save some kind of face here, and he's going to destroy this movie's chances in the process.
Oh, it continues to be diplomatic.
You guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep, we can hear you, Paulie.
Hey, check in with the chat. I'm actually getting gas, and then when I get back in, I want to give my my response.
Sure, man. And Soul Assassin had a really good point there. You have to have woke checklists nowadays to get an award, and that's exactly the point. It's not about the quality of the product anymore. And I know these prizes were never about the quality or the metrics will have an Oscar right now, and yes, I'm still irked about the Matrix not getting anything. So, but anyway. This is not about art, it's not about technique, it's about if you comply with what they are asking. And they are asking to check these boxes, the movie does. They are asking to be on a cinema, this movie have. No, it can go for the Oscars. That's all. It's Oscar bait.
So do you think it's going to do the Oscars? This is the thing. I mean...
It won't, because Oscar bait movies usually don't get into the Oscars.
It's a damn shame, man. So do you want me to continue with the next paragraph?
Yeah,
okay.
Because here he's going to make an excuse for how diversity usually wins over an audience.
Tom, I'm pretty sure you're going to have so much.
I haven't even read it yet, but
you ready? Here we go.
I know you, Scotty. I'm sorry.
Right. Diversity can be a big added value element in a movie that audiences already want to see, or at least it's very much not a deterrent when we're talking about a splashy rom-com, Crazy Rich Asians, a buzzy horror flick, Get Out, an escapist fantasy ensemble road trip comedy, Girls Trip, or an MCU superhero flick, Black Panther. But it's not much of a driver if audiences aren't already interested in the movie in question. Film Twitter convinced themselves that In the Heights was The Force Awakens, but general audiences viewed it as Terminator Dark Fate. In the Heights sold itself as a celebration of Hispanic American culture, but had little else to sell. No stars, no high concept, no IP, etc. To those, I think that's a typo, to those who didn't view such a noble sentiment as automatically worth seeing in theaters.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
He's making excuses.
Paulie's face. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What else? What else are people? I'm in line for gas. What else are people saying in the chat?
Paulie, if you're getting gas, try doing some deep squats and let it rip. It's not healthy to hold it in, says Six.
Nice. Thank you, Six. Thank you so much.
Quality. And then we got Gulgo coming in with quality be damned, must be a checkbox. Sucky.
For $2.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Oh my. Anyways, I got distracted. A pleasant distraction.
But yeah, as I was just saying, he's pissed off that Twitter's leading him astray.
Okay, the other, and we got a video on Minasech Español about this topic. The majority, the 95% of internet users worldwide have used YouTube. Okay? but only 1 in 13 of the yeah, and this is only if you count the accounts, not active users, of the if the accounts are duplicated or nothing. If you take every single account on Twitter, that makes 1 on 13 users. So it's less than 10%. It's actually the 7% of users from YouTube that are on Twitter. Okay? So
Well, let
Twitter
me.
even oh sorry.
I was gonna say an easier way maybe for people to see it is there's 328 million people in the United States. Okay, just in the United States,
Yep.
328 million. There's only roughly 200 million people on Twitter altogether, and that's just roughly. And if you count all the things that you just said, Pablo, fake accounts, all that shit, stan accounts, blah blah blah, bots, maybe 150 million. That's a fraction of people. There's like 8 billion people on the planet.
Yeah, so the real return from any kind of inquiry to the people on Twitter, be it a poll or you are directly taking data from what they tweet, whatever you are doing, it will not work to see the population as a whole. It will only work to see Twitter. Twitter is not a good demographic. It's a demographic that don't even use money for anything. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Is people that don't want to really enjoy something. Twitter is a complaint box. That's the work.
Well, yeah, and it's been taken over by one side mostly, and the media is the same side, and you have all these people speaking on behalf of one group of people, and that's it mainly. And yeah, like Gogo says in the chat, a fraction of a fraction, exactly.
Yep. So you cannot depend on this kind of numbers to target your movie or target anything, and that's something that in the video game industry they already know. They don't do the campaigns to work on Twitter. They do the campaigns to work on Facebook because it has a bigger reach, especially on Latin America and on Asia. And if you really want to go deep, you make a guerrilla style campaign. You make people to share what you want them to share. You memetize. That's the word that normally we use, the content. So people actually think it's a meme. They share it, and it gets popular on 4chan. It gets popular on Twitter. It gets popular on Facebook, on Instagram, because Instagram and Facebook, that are a part of of the Facebook corporation, are the main places where you can actually find people. It's not Twitter.
Yeah. And let's break into the rest of this. Crazy Rich Asians. It was just happened to be that year's fucking big fat Jewish wedding. We get one every couple years, okay? That's just what it is, okay? And Get Out, it just happened to be a decent fucking horror flick. It didn't matter that it happened to be, you know, mostly black cast or whatever. Girls Trip, hello, you have 4 of the most well-known actresses that happen to be black in the same fucking movie. Of course it's going to do well. You have an MCU superhero flick called Black Panther. Well, guess what? It's an MCU superhero flick.
Yeah.
And you just had the Black Panther in Civil fucking War. Okay, like, duh, Scotty, duh. And Force Awakens, give me a... What world does anybody want to compare Force Awakens to In the Heights? And guess what? Nobody went to see Terminator Dark Fate because Tim Miller told everybody that it's woke as shit, and it leaked out pretty early on that John Connor got his, well, spoilers, guys, got killed in the first 2 minutes of the movie. As a kid, no less.
Yep.
Making Sarah Connor a complete fucking failure. Anyway, moving on. We lost Paulie. He's probably getting gas now. And then they're like, no stars, no high concept, no IP. Guess what? That no stars, no high concept, no IP, that made sure that movie only cost $55 million to make. And it's, as Pablo was saying, it's going to make its money back over time, as opposed to some of these bigger movies that you just mentioned, like Terminator Dark Fate, that will never see all its money back ever. It's just not going to happen. And guess what? The problem with Terminator Dark Fate is exactly what is wrong with your argument here, dipshit. People didn't go see it because they knew it was woke as fuck. They could tell. And then the moment somebody told them, oh, yeah, you kill the hero off, we're like, fuck that. And then it leaks online to boot. And of course, nobody went and seen it.
Terminator shows you that if you have a property with enough reach, that you could actually make it work. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying goodbye to T-shirt.
Okay.
Story.
Take care, T-shirt.
If you have a franchise that has enough reach, it can still flop because mouth to mouth is even better than having the reach of a franchise. That's why Star Wars went to be the biggest thing ever on the first movie.
And Paulie's back. But yeah, you notice the movie he didn't bring up here was like stuff like fucking Charlie's Angels and whatnot. But anyway, now that we got Paulie back and we've gotten to talk to the audience just a little bit, I see a few more people in there we can get to say hi to yet, like Mr. MH and Mecca J and Close Call Kid. How you doing? Paulie, we're kind of getting into the latter part of this article. Do you want us to finish this up or you just want to give your piece now?
Yeah, I'll say a little bit right now. Is my audio okay?
Yeah, you're good now.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Um, did this Broadway musical win any Tony Awards?
Not that I know.
In the Heights, you mean?
In the Heights, yeah.
I'm not too sure. You might say it in a bit further in.
Well,
uh,
I think my point is that kind of like what Pablo was saying, in that they marketed to go after the Latino community, right?
It won 4.
No.
I mean, this is an award-winning musical. You wouldn't know that because that was never part of the marketing.
No, it was not.
Great point.
So there's no excitement. There's no excitement from a built-in audience of a lot of people that love musicals. Where did they promote that at all?
They didn't.
Okay. Now, they did not. Now, they didn't have a star, so if J-Lo, let's say J-Lo was in this, then it wouldn't matter if it was a musical or not. People would go, J-Lo fans would go see her. They needed some gorgeous Latina or a Banderas or a big Latino name. We just don't have that male Latino that can open up a weekend yet. So they needed to push the musical element. They needed to push the universality of it all, and they did the opposite. They're hoping that, and it could still happen, but I think the way it was marketed and the way most of the Latino media or Latinx media pushed it was as if it was the second coming and their Black Panther, so to speak, their cultural phenomenon. You guys hear me?
Yep.
No, and that makes sense, and that's kind of what I was kind of getting to. I don't know if you heard,
Yeah.
but I was like saying something to the effect anyway. Like, yeah, Scotty was pissed because this was supposed to be the next quote unquote woke movie, even though it probably isn't as bad as most people would like to think, going off of what Pablo said. And he's just ruining this movie's chances by putting an article out like this.
Yeah.
When a $15 million weekend for a movie like this is nothing to sneeze at. We brought up plenty of examples of musicals in the last 10 years and we don't even need to talk about movies like fucking Cats. I mean,
No, and they are completely missing the point on the marketing of this movie because this.
Let me, yeah, I know. Let me. You already said. I know you'll get to talk, but So the more I think about it after reading this, and then for the past weeks upon weeks of Latino or Latinx influencers, publications to celebrities pushing this like it was the greatest thing ever, and everyone needs to go and buy their tickets, and we're buying stuff in drove. On that level, it's a complete failure.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of did the same thing with Selena, and that was a box office failure, the movie. So now, I mean, and I really wanted to succeed. I hope I like it. I'm gonna pay and watch it tonight in Phoenix with one of my cousins. Um, but this movie was made almost 2 years ago, guys.
Yes, it was.
They've been waiting to release this forever. Also, too, Tom, will this beat La Bamba as the biggest Latino moneymaker from Hollywood?
I don't think so. It could, but
No.
I mean,
I think.
I don't see it now happening.
Well,
Big shoes to fill, man.
Go on.
no, you're right. I mean, yeah, it's kind of big shoes to fill there. Still to this day, unless we count Dora the Explorer, yeah, I don't know.
No, they could have filled the shoes because what they missed on the marketing of this movie is an American movie. It's a movie about the American dream, about the Americana, about Latinos getting into this society that is bigger than life. And that's really what they should have sold, because that's a message that if you are a nation, you can relate to. If you are in Latin America and you dream about going to the US, you can relate to this movie. There's a lot of ways you can relate to this movie, and they didn't solve that. This is the American dream, the movie.
Oh, fair enough, man. Yeah.
Well, let's finish out the article, man, and everyone, let's thank Matt Bud Boy Productions for running the stream today.
Yeah, hell of a producer.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm happy to help. Happy to help whilst you're on the road, Paulie. Okay, then let's get into this next paragraph, then, shall we? All right, here we go. We're going into the HBO stuff now. All right. I haven't mentioned the HBO factor yet. Godzilla vs. Kong opened with $50 million over a Wednesday to Monday Easter debut, despite being on HBO Max. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, opened with $24 million last weekend, on par with Annabelle Comes Home and Curse of La Llorona, despite being on HBO Max. Even frigging Tom and Jerry opened with $14.1 million, despite being on HBO Max. Fucking Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry is a fucking franchise, though, idiot.
He's well known.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't call Scotty but he's an idiot. I'm sorry, it's true.
It's a cartoon.
And not only that, yeah, you're right.
Kids.
Exactly.
He's a moron, man. Right. Okay. Whilst the same day streaming availability bit into the opening day, opening weekend numbers, that In the Heights earned $5 million yesterday seems to imply that the film wasn't pacing for a $10 to $15 million opening day, even in non-COVID, non-HBO Max times. Might the movie have opened higher had it opened last summer in a non-COVID timeline? Almost certainly so, but clearly we played ourselves in terms of how big. Any thoughts on that paragraph?
Yeah, he is trying to compare this movie to Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, you're right. He's not comparing it to any real comparable movies at all.
Yep.
Fucking Tom and Jerry, man.
And what you're seeing now on Twitter is all the influencers, all the Latinx reviewers who were taking their amas and everyone to see it. Now they're saying, well, we're still in the pandemic, and they're what's the word I'm looking for?
Making excuses?
Yeah, they're making
Overreaching.
excuses. They're
Blowing smoke.
they're doing all that, and it's like, just just keep promoting the positivity of the film. Like, you know, like I said, it's like, you know, unfortunately, I think within a few days, a lot of these people are just going to move on.
Well, I think Scotty's missing the big picture here. And Paul, you brought up great points about it being a Tony Award-winning musical. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know much about this movie other than what you've told me, Paulie. And the fact that it's probably going to make $15 million this weekend, that's nothing to sneeze at. Because guess what? I've heard of Rent. I've heard of Mamma Mia. I've heard of Phantom of the Opera. I've heard of all these other movies that dipshit's bringing up here that have nothing to do with In the Heights in the least. But you know what? Out of those movies that are probably close that I just mentioned because they're actually musicals, none of them were big, huge box office hits. So the fact that a movie that isn't even that well known off of a play that isn't that well known making $15 million in the middle of summertime when it was probably meant to be, you know, counter programming to some big movie like Annabelle or Fast 9 or something like that is doing that well. He's missing the entire point of this fucking movie. And the article should be more about like, look, there's this little movie that, you know, hey, it's doing all right considering musicals have kind of been dead. Let's be real. When's the last time we had a fucking successful musical?
Tom, that's exactly what I want to throw out to the chat is what's your favorite musical adapted movie musical of all time, and how much money did that musical make? Was it a box office smash? Was it a Chicago? Was it
Okay, musical.
You know, so yeah, that's my question to you guys and to the chat.
Okay, how much?
What's your favorite musical on? What's your favorite musical on? You know, adapted movie musical. Was it a blockbuster smash? And then what Tom was saying, like, what was the last musical that was a huge hit on on film?
If you don't count Disney movies.
Okay, let's see. How much did South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut did? That's my favorite musical.
I'm with you, man. No, I'm with you. That's why I
musical.
laugh. I just don't think of it as a musical first and foremost, but you're right.
I am super. Thanks for asking.
But otherwise, the chat's pretty much saying as far as when people stop to think of musicals, the Grease is number one. Box office wise, and that's what everybody has. A bunch of Grease ones out there. Jesus Christ Superstar probably comes in a close second or third, right behind maybe Rocky Horror Picture Show. And then probably the next one I would think maybe is Little Shop of Horrors as far as box office wise. And then I think Phantom of the Opera did a little better next. That did 150 million. But yeah, then you're getting into a little bit more modern times where that's.
Yeah, how did the Jersey Boys do?
Oh, that one didn't do well at all.
I love that movie. And that was on Broadway.
Okay, I'm the only real musical that we've had lately that did anything really good was Rocket Man, to be honest. But then again, you have something that's a pre-sold IP because everybody knows who Elton John is.
Yep,
that's a good one. Does La La Land count?
Yes, La La Land was probably the last real successful one, and Jersey Boys only managed to make 67 million.
But does they have songs about Brian Boitano?
No, but South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut was a pretty big hit.
Yep.
Jersey Boys was about Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. I mean, they had
it was a lot like Rocket Man.
South Park did. Oh, sorry. South Park did $83 million with a budget of 11. No, with a budget of $21 million. So it did great.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
Les Mis did all right, mostly with awards and shit, but I think it
Los
only did so-so.
Miserables.
Yeah, only did so-so at the box office, I think.
What's
Hairspray,
the
Miss
chat
Rach
saying?
What's your MH?
Well, there's the ones we're bringing up. Some of the movies they're talking about and stuff. Les Mis, like we said, Bohemian Rhapsody. You can kind of count that, but that's more of a biopic, not so much a musical. I would say Rocket Man is a little closer to that. Is Sausage Party a musical? I don't know. Is there
Yes.
songs in it?
It
I didn't
comes.
watch it past 5 minutes. So, and yeah, Team America counts, I guess.
Yes, that's a great movie. That's a great musical, actually.
So a lot of those movies have long legs and have a following. People are going to buy them.
An IP
I
behind
think
them.
In the Heights is going to be fine in the long run. Yeah, I just think a lot because also too, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he went on to do Hamilton. I think his he's got a big following, and I think In the Heights is going to be okay in the long run. It's always going to have people that will buy it. I don't know.
No, and it's festival bait. It will be on festivals for a long time.
Yeah. Six likes Mamma Mia. The Hairspray remake, I wasn't a big fan of that one, but
Mamma Mia,
that one did
here
do
we go
well.
again.
I guess you could count the Blues Brothers as one action com, but that didn't do well at the box office.
Hey, if anyone let us know if you have get a tip out to PayPal. We can't read them, but if you have, thank you.
Yeah, if you heard that.
Yeah, link in the description of the video of the stream should be. Let me know if it is actually in the chat, if that works. So
Walk the Line's more of a biopic.
Yeah.
I think the line can be like blurred with like Rocket Man or Jersey Boys, where they actually do break into musical moments within the story. But if you're talking a movie like Walk the Line or Bohemian Rhapsody, where all the music is just part of them performing the music, that's just a straight biopic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
La Bamba, that kind of a thing.
Okay, does Scott Pilgrim? No, it will not be a musical because the songs are part of the what they play on the band and not part of the movie as a whole.
Yeah.
So that will not count.
Kind of like a biopic movie, yeah.
Yep.
But we need to let Matt finish this fucking article.
all good. All right then. Okay, let's get into this again. Where are we? There we go. There were hints. It didn't make the top 10 in Fandango's most anticipated of summer poll. Warner Bros. Knew the online excitement for the splashy musical melodrama wasn't being matched by general audiences, hence the deluge of free public screenings over the last month. We in the film nerd bubble knew about the project and were rooting for its success, but to general audiences, it was a musical based on a show they'd never heard of, starring actors they'd mostly never heard of, and with a full-throated marketing campaign hamstrung by the fact that the show isn't remotely plot-driven. The sheer emphasis, both in the press coverage and in the critical consensus, on demographic representation and cultural importance threatens to make the movie feel like homework.
Whose fault is that?
Yep.
More importantly, online interest didn't translate to general audience interest. There we go.
Well, here's the thing, Scotty. Allow me to rewrite your article again. If you'd have made this article about, sure, In the Heights doesn't have the memorable music like Mamma Mia, or it isn't as culturally driven as Crazy Rich Asians, but hey, maybe you should give this movie a shot. That would be a completely different article here, and it would actually help the movie immensely. But now you're just continuing to shove it into this fucking narrative-driven fucking it's a Hispanic movie. That's all that matters, kind of thing, or Latino movie. That's all that matters. That's all it's about. That's all it is. It's a Fugazi now for him to sit there and fucking virtue signal on.
Is what I have been saying all along. They try to sell Latino movies as these are Latino movies, especially to Latin America. Watch this is representation for you. I don't want to see representation. I want to see a good movie. Sell me a good movie. Tell me this is a good movie, and I will go to see it.
And let me rephrase that. The memorable, I should have said the songs like Mamma Mia. My bad. Because it may have memorable songs. I've never heard them.
Oh, it has some amazing songs. Is what I say is Americana. Is somehow the most American dream movie that I have ever seen. And
See, now
that
here's the thing: is you guys keep talking about this like I almost feel like they should be comparing it to more like West Side Story or something.
yep, actually yep. That's a good
Ah, which is coming out later this year.
Yeah, and that's what another thing I was going to say is this kind of beat that to the
And
punch.
well, I, I'm probably, it's probably going to do a lot better at the box office
Oh, of course,
than the
because it's an
Heist.
IP.
yeah.
It's a known IP. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a, they got all, it's got a great name, great legend behind it. Uh, but
Did we lose
yeah,
Paulie?
no, I'm here. I was just pausing, just thinking. I'm just wondering why he wrote this the way he did. I know within the Latino or whatever you want to call them, reviewers and influencers over the past few weeks, they kind of went off the deep end on wanting. They started tweeting out and saying some ridiculous stuff of wanting only Latinos to review it,
Oh,
Latino writers to review it. They didn't
For
want
fuck's
white
sake.
writers to use the terms spy. They didn't want those non-Latino writers to use the words colorful or spicy. So I'm wondering if there was any backlash within these reviewers.
there's gotta be.
You know,
And
It- because even yesterday, a, a high whatever influencer Latina, she was saying, "Please God, I only want a Dominican to review a reviewer. Like I only want to read Dominican reviewer or something like that." And I'm like, how small are we getting here, guys? How
So
small?
she pulled a Brie
You're
Larson.
completely discrediting this movie. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And and unlike Captain Marvel, you know, this movie, from what I hear, actually has a lot of merit. It's actually really good. It's not for everyone. It's a musical, but again,
maybe
you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know it's a Tony Award-winning musical. It's an immigrant story, which makes it an American story.
yep.
Yeah. So I just want to. I had been seeing that in the Twitter circles the last couple of weeks because you know I do I do follow a lot of the Latino Latinx you know influencers, reviewers, review sites, and they're not only were they saying that this is the second coming, like this is the greatest thing ever, but dear white writers, can you not use these adjectives? Anyways, that's
No,
my
Well, that's
that's my thought right
redonkulous and a
yeah.
there.
half.
Paulie, I think you are onto something. Let's just say this, okay? It's a musical. How many straight white men do you know that will go gladly to watch a musical? And tell me, a musical is not the most inclusive thing you can ever have. It's basically gay bait.
I don't know about that statement, especially if you had like Jennifer Lopez or like
I don't
gorgeous,
associate with Pablo.
or Lee,
Hashtag not cancelled.
exactly. You know, uh, I I'm from the theater. I love the theater. Love musicals. Um, I'm straight, Pablo. So I definitely don't agree with your generalization there.
Especially with, I think with this movie, I haven't
And-
seen a lot on it, but nah, I'm not getting that vibe at all.
Also, too, and don't be fooled also too. Not all gay men and gay folk love musicals. So, but let's
Okay.
continue the conversation.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stereotype. We'll move on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, there is more to this article. Shall I continue?
Oh, lovely. It looks like it's long as shit because Scotty doesn't know how to keep them short.
Oh yeah, here we go. Right. Da, 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 da. All right. This wasn't a well-liked television star, Constance Wu, starring in a conventional rom-com about a successful career woman discovering a big secret, that her boyfriend is incredibly wealthy, and dealing with a life-changing
Matt.
conflict. Sorry?
I'm sorry, Matt. You know what? We haven't checked in with the chat. Can we check in with the chat, guys?
Yeah, man, we'll jump back with the chat.
Yeah.
We have got...
Well, Shellback says, I'm not gay, and I like musicals. Well, some, not all. LOL. He also agreed the trailer looked good. And then DB Martin doesn't understand why anybody couldn't love Grease. Krusty Moko says, I'm no fan of musicals, but I watched earlier today and I liked it. Oh, so he's actually seen the film.
Yeah.
There you go. And he's a Krusty Moko, so I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be a Krusty Moko about the movie if it wasn't any good.
That point.
You like how I keep using Krusty Moko there, Polly? And Stephanie says, hi, hello. How you doing, Stephanie Janacek? And Etienne Faladero says, not if it's a good musical. I think that was in reference to what Pablo was saying there. So, yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I got canceled.
Pablo, I think you need to walk back that statement, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
maybe.
standing with my statement, but no, this is the thing. Broadway musicals, how many?
You can't stand by that statement. That's a derogatory statement, bro. You're saying
Okay, I take it back. Broadway musicals are not that well. I mean, okay, I will rephrase my statement. Broadway musicals are not that famous with straight white men. They are mostly enjoyed by other categories of the audience. Okay, so this was not supposed to be the huge movie like a Star Wars movie or like a Marvel movie. It's a musical. Most people don't know about musicals. Most people don't care about musicals. If you talk about the MCU, it's everywhere.
What are you talking about?
About the reach of this movie. They are trying to say that, and I know Scott Mendelson, he is coming from the side that this is not popular on his...
Pablo,
okay.
You said most people don't care about musicals?
Broadway musicals? No.
Friend. Families, a lot of people go and support and love musicals, whether it's in Disney movies or regional and traveling Broadway plays. They're huge. They keep regional theaters going.
Okay. Oh, around here, nobody likes musicals.
Okay, well, we're talking about the. All right, I'm speaking on the U.S.
All right, we'll give Pablo the caveat of where he's at, maybe. Yeah. Well, sorry, Paul, you were saying I didn't mean to disrupt
explain
you.
A little bit. No, and just explain a little bit, and any please in the chat chime in. Musicals sustain local theater companies every year in their programming. They'll have a classic like a Frankenstein or Shakespeare, and they'll have a musical. And
Krusty
those
Moko
always fill those fill the seats, Pablo.
Oh, Shakespeare does quite nice here. Musicals like
not Shakespeare, bro. Musicals.
Yeah, no, I'm hearing you.
Are part of. All right, bro. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
What's the chat saying?
Well, yeah, I was just about to say RC from the NYC has given us a $20 super chat, so thank you very much for that. He's saying, "What's up, panel? What's up, chat? I live in the Heights and got to see the movie on premiere night here. It was well done and very true to the musical. The buzz for the movie in the New York Latino community is definitely high."
There you go.
So there we are.
That's a few positive reviews already, and a lukewarm one from Pablo.
No, I enjoyed it. And even on Geeks and Gamers, if you go to see the review on Geeks and Gamer, is favorable
Oh, they done
for
a
this
review of
movie.
it?
Yeah,
Oh,
they actually recommend you to see this movie.
that's pretty good from Geeks and Gamers, though.
Yep.
There you go.
Cool. So yeah, do you want me to continue with the article now?
Please.
Okie dokie.
Unless Polly has anything else. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Paulie. Have you got anything else to chime in, mate?
I'm just floored. I'm still. I'm in shock and awe still of Pablo's statements about music.
Cool.
Let's keep going.
If you're
All
getting
right,
any
let's
more
get back
shock and awe, I'm going to start questioning your sexuality. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh.
Trying to make some levity of the situation.
Right. Okay. I
No.
think we need it because it's a Scott Mendelson.
If there's
article.
nobody's sexuality who's in question on this panel, it's definitely Polly's. We'll say that much.
You will enjoy so much Latin America. We do that kind of.
Is that
jokes
good enough?
all the
I
time.
jabbed Pablo a little bit there, Polly. So there we go. We
Yeah.
can move on now.
Okay. The 1-2s have been had. Let's
And
carry
Matt
on
and I can roll with it, so we're good.
then. Cool. I'll just start from the top again then. So, this wasn't a well-liked television star, Constance Wu, starring in a conventional rom-com about a successful career woman discovering a big secret, that her boyfriend is incredibly wealthy and dealing with a life-changing conflict, explicit disapproval from her potential mother-in-law. This wasn't a quartet of somewhat well-known, led by Queen Latifah and Jada Pinkett Smith, black women going on an escapist vacation. This wasn't a trio of comic actors, led by Mia Kunis and Kristen Bell, living out a relatable fantasy of suburban mothers putting their own needs before their kids. Even with the Lin-Manuel Miranda factor, In the Heights may not be the best Crazy Rich Asians, Girls Trip, or Bad Moms. It may end up being another case like Kick-Ass, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and Dread, where online anticipation overrepresents general audience interest. And then it's the last, I might as well finish it because this is the last bit. So, still, it's not like there are a ton of splashy, cultural-specific modern-day musical melodramas playing in multiplexes this summer, with nothing huge, all due respect to The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, opening between now and June 25th. Warner Bros. May try to sell the notion of a 14-day debut between In the Heights and F9. With rave reviews and an A from CinemaScore and a media clearly rooting for its success, I wouldn't be surprised to see initial legs on par with Puss in Boots, which disappointed with a $34 million debut in 2011 and then earned $33 million in weekend 2. But if the film plays closer to Rent than The Greatest Showman, well, sometimes we online media types convince ourselves that a movie is bigger than it is. Sometimes audiences don't care about mother effing snakes on a mother effing plane. That's it.
I don't get the last part. Why get Samuel L. Jackson there?
I have no idea why they had snakes on the plane like comparison at the end there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with the whole audience.
I don't understand the Puss in Boots reference unless he's trying to be not fucking racist, because I don't understand.
Antonio Banderas?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no comparison.
The strike movies and Puss in Boots did amazing here in Ecuador and in Latin America in general.
What the fuck does Puss in Boots got to do with In the Heights?
I don't know, but they did well.
Scott, what the fuck are you smoking, man?
Man, yeah, I need to put that pipe down, bro.
Please. For the love of God. Puss in Boots was a 4th movie or 2.5 movie in a fucking franchise that opened up against a fucking horror movie, the 3rd in a franchise, Paranormal Activity for one. And then let's see what it went up against the 2nd week. Oh, wrong thing. Fucking thing.
Shrek was really popular. Oh, that's what I remember. Shrek was moving
And then
merchandising
also
and
by then, also by the 2nd week, the word got out to families about Puss in Boots.
He's full
Yeah.
of shit. Puss in Boots only made fucking $7 million its 2nd week, and it opened up. It was Tower Heist made more money. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I mean, it made more money in the long run. Yeah, it did okay. It did 149 million altogether, 405 overall. So that made a big chunk of its money over the seas.
Oh,
I don't know what the fuck crack he's smoking, or
That's
where
good.
he's getting these comparisons.
worse than the one that I'm smoking, it seems.
Anyway, sorry, Stephen Otten sent in $10 though.
Yep. So Stephen Otten says articles like this leading those on the fence to think it might be woke will hurt it. I have liked some musicals, despite not being the biggest fan. I am willing to give it a chance. So yeah, give it a chance. Like I say, everybody give it a chance, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it deserves it. So screw fucking Scott
After
Mendelson.
yeah, say after Scotty's little rant here, I'm gonna possibly give it a chance now, but I have a feeling he's ruining other people's chances of seeing it though. If they read this, they're gonna think it's just a big old wokey fest movie.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's go around the panel and in the chat. Are you guys going to see this now? Do you guys have interest? And how do you think it's going to do in the next 14 days?
Yeah.
Well, as I said, does Fast 9 open next week, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's next week.
Yeah, next week, June 25th.
Mhm.
It depends. No, actually, In the Heights, yeah, it has another weekend actually to breathe because Fast 9 doesn't open until the 25th.
I don't think Fast 9 is really competition for.
It's counter programming. It's not the same audience.
Exactly. If you go with, let's say, you go with your wife and you want to see Fast and the Furious, and she's not in the mood, go and see In the Heights, and we will meet after the movies, and we will continue doing whatever we are doing. That's the kind of stuff that I can see. But if you go to watch the Fast and the Furious, you will not be thinking about should I get instead In the Heights. No. Something there doesn't seem rational somehow.
Luca is the only because this is what's coming out next week. 12 Mighty Orphans, never heard of it. It's got Wayne Knight and Robert Duvall in it. Luca, which is an animated film. Otherwise, it's nothing I've ever heard of or probably is even getting wide release. So it might do well. It might have a decent second weekend as well. And if all this movie has to do is make like $20-30 million probably at the box office until it starts dropping off, and that's good enough for Warner right now in this kind of a situation, especially if it's been sitting on the shelf for 2 years, like Paulie said.
And I was shocked at that. I didn't realize that it had been shelved for that long. So, I mean, why? I don't get it.
I don't know.
It was probably meant to be released, I imagine,
Well,
right before
they started filming.
Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah,
you know.
They started filming 2 Aprils ago, right? Well, 3 Aprils ago at this point. Like, first day shooting was like April of 2019. It was supposed to come out last spring, and then they pushed it back, like everything else, like everything else. So, there you go.
Yeah, and people are like, FF9, Krusty Moko says, I think when I hear that, I'm like Final Fantasy 9. That's why I say F9, and they were smart enough to call it F9, probably not. Yeah. But, and I think F9, it kind of goes along with the car thing, Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're right. I think you're right with they have 2 weeks. They could totally do a reshuffling of the marketing for this week coming up to get more people in it next weekend. It's not impossible.
Okay, let me tell you this. I watched the movie. It's not my kind of movie, and I enjoyed a lot of parts on it. I actually was hooked to the screen on some parts. Some others I wanted to watch my phone or something. But is even if you don't like musicals, and I come from a country that doesn't like musicals at all, I can enjoy it. So if you are going to see it, you most probably will have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's going to be a good time film. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's a positive, sort of
Well,
musical sort of thing. Like, I mean, what's not like to enjoy about it? I mean, why does it have to be compared to something like, I don't know, like bloody Black Panther and things like that? I mean,
Exactly.
It has
What?
nothing to do with those movies.
I think the real testament is going to be how it did for HBO Max. Because if this movie opened on both instead of being if it was just in the theater, I'd be like, okay, maybe they have something to stand on. But even still, for a musical in this era, when it's coming out, I don't think this is that bad. I'm curious how the HBO Max numbers are. If they're great and they did well for HBO Max, then I'd say it's a win for them because that's more its core audiences. Women stream more than men do. And this movie probably leans a bit more to go against Pablo's fucking statement earlier where we gotta cancel his ass now. No, I could see more women being interested in this film. And women stream more. So yeah, I bet you it's like a 50-50 split. And if the same amount of people that went to see it in theaters as if you had that many people at home watch it, that's pretty good for them. That's kind of like what Mortal Kombat did.
And Six does a great question on the chat. Does no one in my country likes musicals? Okay, the people that like musicals are mainly women and gay people. Especially, I have worked with theater companies before, and that's how they market the musicals because that's the people that will go. Normally, men go if they are in a date or if they are really pressed to go. But other than that, you will avoid that. You will go to a bar where you can hear some cubano or something like that. But to go to a musical, you really need to want to go to a musical. Musical movies are different, though. Musical movies actually get more audience from people because it's going to a movie. Is basically going to sit in the theater and eating the popcorn. So you will take your kids, you'll go with your family. That's a family movie. In theater, is more like you won't go to a musical, but there's still an audience, and there's still theaters that specialize on musicals because of that, and they do well on their part, but the public is normally the same. Is there's not much variation unless there's something really special like a musical from Disney on Ice or something like that that will move people more likely.
Yeah, HBO Max is doing a piss poor job of promoting the fact that this movie is on here. I had to literally go find it.
And Jose Luis says that it's the same in Tijuana, and yeah, that's the
Fuck?
point. They are targeting this as a Latin American or Latino, sorry, not Latin American, but Latino musical, and they are targeting to Latinos. And sorry, Latinos, we are like that. Sorry, not sorry.
I literally had to go down, and to find it, I had to go to their same day premieres, and it's buried way down in there.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Well, let me ask you guys. So, Bud Boy, were you waiting for my review? People in the chat, were you waiting for our reviews, or are you guys gonna go check this out now?
I mean, I'm definitely going to give it a look. I mean, obviously, it's not out in the UK yet. It's the 18th, I think it's out in the UK, if I remember rightly. So I'll catch it when it's out because obviously it needs a bit of box office, I think. So everybody else needs to get behind it too. So yeah, if you've got a free day, you know, and you need a film to catch, go and watch it, man. Why not?
How about in the chat?
We've got.
Are you more? Yeah, go ahead.
No, you were asking him a question. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, so your enthusiasm to go see it, are you going to go see it? And if let's say a major Latina star was in it, like pick your favorite one, would you be more inclined to go, like a J-Lo, Selma, Penelope? If they were in it,
Good question.
would that sway you? Would that sway you to go see it?
No,
With their
here most
appeal.
likely it will hurt the movie unless it's a really big star, and I mean really big. People will see it as pandering rather, and I mean just about my country.
All right. Well, the rest of the chat is saying nope from Rick Sanchez. Six says she's waiting for reviews. My mom might like it based on the trailer, but I won't torture myself without more info. RC
If
from
you have
NYC.
oh sorry, if you
Hold
have
on,
an elderly
Pablo.
mom,
Pablo, I want to hear from the chat. The chat.
RC from NYC said he's seen it twice already. And there was
I want
one.
to get his review up.
And he also said, Tom is right. I had a chance to bring my mom to the premiere, but she wanted to see it at home instead. I'm assuming that'd be the second time you probably watched it or whatever. Mr. MH says, you can watch Predator or Terminator 2 after watching a musical. They are musicals too. The musical sound of bullets tearing the forest. God.
I wanted to say this to the guys that want to go with their moms to the movie. It's a great idea.
Yeah, and Etienne Falardo, if I'm saying it right, says, hey, if I could go out, I might. And then adds, if there are boobs, hey, why not?
No,
E3 says musical, it's a hard pass. It doesn't matter who's in it. So that's more referring to if it had a bigger, I think what you just asked again, Paulie, with the different star. 6 says J-Lo would keep her away.
Mecca J, probably.
Probably from Mecca J.
I mean, J-Lo's an incredible dancer. Just, still looks hot.
Then your buddy Krusty Moko.
I could,
says, not really. I was interested in watching it regardless of the cast.
Well, he saw it, right?
Yeah, and he liked it. And I'm looking at the poster here, and they're like, from the creator of Hamilton. Okay, they should have amped that up a lot more. And the director of Crazy Rich Asians. Okay, I can see the comparison there. And that's where I said that movie was fine. And there you go. That should have been it. It should have been, okay, maybe it's not as popular as Hamilton, and it's not as culturally forced or, whatever, driven as Crazy Rich Asians. But, hey, you may want to give this movie a shot for whatever reason. He could have gone at it a completely different angle.
Yeah, it just seemed like a poor marketing campaign.
It is. It very is. It seems like Warner's kind of bearing it. So I'm almost wondering if they're pulling up producers here or some shit.
No, please no, Shakira, man.
Shakira. Well, the hips don't lie.
I agree with 6 there. She's got some talent, but not great in films.
I don't know. Shakira became kind of unpopular here in Latin America once she became too big in the United States. When she appeared on Zootopia and everyone was about Shakira, that's when the Shakira craze stopped.
Yeah, she's kind of like a.
I'm wondering if there's any people getting fired over there for just mismarketing this whole thing.
Hope so.
Well,
the movie deserved better marketing.
I mean, like it's like
deserved better marketing, right?
Yeah, totally.
not to reference like Scott Mendelson too much, like, but when he said about Dread in that article, like the Dread had the same problem, like you were saying, Pablo, earlier about how like they're marketing it strictly as a Latino thing, like a Latino thing, like, and they did that with Dread with the 3D elements and stuff, didn't they? Like it wasn't just Dread, it was Dread 3D. It's 3D. It's 3D. Come see, it's 3D film, and like by that point, people were just getting turned off by those sorts of things being added to film titles. And I think, like you say, like, you know, when it comes to the marketing schemes and stuff like that, I mean, if you try and force it towards a single market, like, then, you know, you're never gonna get the pull the audience that you need. I mean, but I don't understand why a film with something like, you know, from the creator of Hamilton and the director of Crazy Rich Asians attached to it, why are they trying to like not promote this more? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me, because those are two big things, like, you know.
Mhm.
I don't know, this all seems very weird in regards to its marketing campaign. I don't know.
No, it's crazy, and the way they are handling the marketing for Latin America leaves a lot to be.
So I have a question. One of you guys can look up. Can you guys look up the numbers for the tax collector from last
Okay.
year and how it did? Did anyone in the chat
I can
get
pull
to
those
see
up.
the movie The Tax Collector?
Tax Collector is a great
If
film.
you
I
did,
recommend it.
yeah, if you did, let us know what you thought of The Tax Collector. I'm curious about the numbers, Tom, because there's another bigger misunderstanding of the Latino market that I want to address. You know,
I've got your numbers for The Tax Collector. Okay, so it was budgeted obviously at $20 million. That's estimated. Its opening weekend in US and Canada pulled 309,694. But that was because of the pandemic, obviously. Its gross US and Canada was 1,044,212, and the gross worldwide was 1,325,781. But that's coming from IMDb. So
that's opening weekend, or like that's gross. That's like total.
Gross worldwide, that last one was, which is very low.
I think it was like number one those 2 weekends, and I think it did. I think the numbers were really good on streaming. What are people saying in the chat? Did they check it out?
Yep, we've got a few people in the chat. Stephen Otten saw it, liked it. Tax Collector, but Shellback TJC, sorry. Tax Collector is Salente. Where else have we got in here?
No, the Tax Collector had a lot of good reviews. It was mainly the date it was released. It was that what killed the movie, actually.
That was the pandemic really made that suffer, really. I mean,
this movie could have done a lot more money, man. This was perfect to show here in Ecuador, at least. It will have moved a lot of money, but at that time, all theaters, everything was closed.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I caught it late again because, again, marketing, I mean, in the UK for this film, like, was pretty much non-existent, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I mean, I found out through it, luckily, through Paulie. It was Paulie who introduced me to this, and I'm happy he did, because it's a really good David Ayer film. It's a really good, like, Latino gangster film. Like, it's got a really cool, like, story which leaves you wanting more by the end of it too. You know, it's and like I say, like you say, Pablo, man, it's just this pandemic release really kicked it right in the nuts, like, and it's a shame, man. It's because it again, I really recommend it. Like, I'd recommend it to most people if you want a good, like, gangster film. Like, just for fun. Like it's really good to watch. You know what I mean? It's yeah, check it out. Like
Yeah, and if statistically, if you see series like Narcos tend to stay a lot more in top 10 here in Latin America, especially Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Venezuela, and Colombia. We kind of like these kind of movies, and series like Narcos, we love them. We just love them. So this was made for here.
how was the marketing run down there? Actually, I'm curious about that.
I never saw anything about the movie, but the theaters were closed.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. The restrictions here, at least here in Ecuador, on December there was some theaters available, but the the restrictions were heavy. You needed to go with mask, and there was a lot of issues. So people stayed home. And I have been. I actually did the review for Demon Slayer, and I went to Godzilla versus Kong, and both times the theater was empty. I had on Godzilla versus Kong other two people, and on Demon Slayer, a family or a mother, father, and a daughter, and that was it. That was
Man.
the whole audience. So it has been low. People don't want to go. The restrictions are heavy. But some movies have gone out that we will actually love to go to.
Yeah, yeah. There's like so we've got so much to come.
So I think the last point I wanted to make. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
So I think the last point I wanted to make was, even with tax collector opening up in a couple of theaters, a drive-in here and there, it still was able to make a couple million, which was a big deal. Latino audiences want to see, on the whole, those types of movies. They want to see the old school Terminators, Conans, good Star Wars. And if it's gonna be themselves, it's tricky, right? They don't necessarily want to see their plight.
Yep.
Which is another Wokoso misunderstanding, that Latinxs in Hollywood are trying to make that a reality, right?
Mhm.
Because they cannot stand the drug gangster films, the Latino gangster films.
Oh no, that kind of movies. Okay,
In the Heights,
Oh,
yeah.
Paulie,
Okay.
I think you're breaking up a little bit, dude.
Okay,
All right.
let's say this. Even in novellas, we had novellas about the same topics as Narcos, and with action and with everything. If you see Sin tetas no hay paraíso. That's without tits, there's no paradise. That's the name of the novella. That's the literal translation of the name of the novella. It went through what, over 200 episodes. It was the most viewed thing around. Everybody loved that. Rosario Tijeras, other series like that, and it had a huge release. People loved it. It actually had a rerun. We like that kind of stuff. We like when we see that police drama a bit, with action, with explosions, with some good intrigue mixed up. We eat that. Still, what they try to sell us is some mellow, dramatic movies, and they don't know why we reject them. Because here, I'm sorry if this sounds weird for American audiences, but we like machismo on our movies. We like women to be really womanly. We like explosions. We like this kind of stupid movies that no Hollywood is trying to get away from. That's the kind of movies that we like, and we lost Tom and Polly.
I know, yeah, we just lost him. It's just me and you now, Pablo. But I get what you mean by like bombastic, like kind of like the 80s, like
Yeah,
throwback
Commando.
films, like yeah.
Commando, but with sexy women. That's what we like. And it may sound stupid for some audiences, and I guess people in Hollywood can think about, well, these are uneducated people that don't like high arts. But sorry, sometimes when you go to work a lot, you do a lot of stuff, and you want to wind out, you want to relax, you sit down and watch Commando, and it's an amazing time. You sit down and watch a drama, and it doesn't feel the same. You end up more tired, and you just get disconnected.
That's fair. That's fair, man. I think Mecha J's just chimed in there with oh, we got Tom back. Say basically Latinos want what Latinos want is exactly what every normal American want in their movies. So yeah, big explosions and just fun. That's what we're missing in films these days.
You
man.
know why we love Schwarzenegger or Stallone? They were manly as fuck. That's it. They were manly as fuck. If you see on national television every single night on Channel 5, the most viewed segment of television is action films. And they go for 80s action films, 90s action films, and any kind of B movie that you can play. They have played Transmorphers, and that exists. It's not Transformers, it's Transmorphers, it's a B movie. And we loved it. I don't know if Hollywood don't get the message, or maybe the audiences are different. I know there's a lot of Americans that like that, but seeing manly men doing manly stuff is great. It's just great. Like, we like football. Why do we like 22 macho men running around almost naked? Because it's manly. That's all.
Yeah, you're getting some agreement here in the chat, dude. I mean, it seems like that same way. I mean, I think a lot of people miss those sorts of films, man. Like, I think it's becoming like a more global sort of like thing. Like, you know, it's but yeah, unfortunately, like you say, the mainstream Hollywood just seems to want to
If
feed
you
us.
see, for example, Brazil has a huge LGBT community.
Mm-hmm.
And the movies that they love are the same. It doesn't change.
Is it Krusty Mogo? Preach it, Pablo. There you go.
Gay men like to see macho men on screen too. They like it more, even so.
Yeah, yeah, that does not surprise me. You know, it's yeah, it's a crazy time we live in, man. Especially with regards to films and cinema, man. Like, I don't know what happened.
It's a misunderstanding of what they want to do. They want to do high art. It won't pay. High art don't generate the same revenue as stupid, dumb movies. If you want to get a lot of money, do a stupid, dumb movie. It's easy.
That's it. I totally agree, man. I totally agree there. What's the chat saying? Kosimoko saying Commando and Predator, my choice for manliest movies ever. Oh, and Paulie is back as well. Oh, and so yeah, somebody's reminded, don't forget Rambo as well, you know. All of these, like, you know, big crazy action films that people miss. Like, yeah. Welcome back, Paulie. What else have we got going on? Have I missed any of the important ones here? I just want a quick look through. No, we're going back to this one. So Stephen Austin says, saw Tax Collector on Blu-ray off Paulie's recommendation. I so rarely go to the movie theaters anymore for various reasons. And that was pre-Coof. Yeah, fair enough, man. But yeah, I think a lot of people saw it off of Paulie's recommendation or on the, who followed the slant, man. I mean, it's, again, because of that poor marketing campaign, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, we've just had a few things come through here now. Okay, so we've got Mags. Mags just became a sponsor. So there we go. Thank you, Mags.
Nice.
Also, Mexican Iron Man. Hello, Mexican Iron Man. How's it going, dude? Also became a sponsor. Oh, crikey. There we go. Not another one. Loki's Morning Mischief just became a sponsor too. There we go. So all the love.
I think maybe today was the day that their memberships got renewed or something.
Is that what's happening? Is it like, is it just coming through? So
Hey,
should I give him some video love? I can just because. Should I just give him a gracias? Just because.
yeah, say whatever.
There we go. So there we go.
Nice.
I feel like it wouldn't be a slant stream without one of the Paulie's videos. All right, what else we got in the chat going on?
Okay, I kind of want to ask the chat, guys, if you could get a movie right now, any kind of movie, just to watch on your TV, which genre will it be? Will it be a musical? Will it be action? Will it be sci-fi? Please tell me.
There we go, chat. Sound off. I mean, my personal one, I'm a big sci-fi guy, so I think I'd probably go sci-fi myself. Oh, there we go. We've got animation sci-fi coming in. Some comedy. Preferably.
Agree.
Got hard sci-fi. Action sci-fi. Stephen Norton recently got the Highlander.
Nice.
It's like sci-fi fantasy, I guess. We go that one, I guess.
Yep.
TC. I could go for an action flick, but sci-fi too. So there's a lot of sci-fi love going on. Action sci-fi. Depends on the mood. Yeah, I understand that one. Stephen Norton, action sci-fi as well. Shelley back. Sci-fi usually has action, so yeah.
Yep.
Action comedy. Well, I'm not surprised you said action comedy. Action com.
So let's see. The chat mostly will go for something fun, for action, for comedy, for horror. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, that's what the general consensus in the chat's looking like. Like thrillers, horror, action comedy, sci-fi. These things, like, you know, this is what everybody wants.
so people like fun. Let's have fun. Let's make that. And In the Heights has fun. That's my problem. If you try to market this as a fun movie, you could market it as a family to watch with your mother. And as I said, if you want to go with your mother, it's a great time. It's a fantastic movie to do that. If you want to go with your abuela, it's a great movie to do that. If you want to go with your daughter, if you want to go, that is the kind of movie that this is, and that's what they should have tried to sell. When you want to unwind, you want something fun. When you want to share with someone, maybe something more thoughtful. This is something more thoughtful and is a good movie to go with your family.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Sit back and smile film. That's it.
Yeah. It's like I don't know many people that will watch the Joker to unwind. It's not an unwind movie.
Yeah, I just saw that. Like, no joke. So morning I fell asleep. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, like I said, I don't think like In the Heights is one of those films that's going to make you fall asleep. But I think it's one of those films that's going to pump you up, if anything.
Yeah, it's
know.
too bombastic to make you sleep, and also the music will not let you. To be honest.
Exactly that. I mean, it's like serious upbeat tempos. I can imagine. Like so. It's like
Yeah,
it's
energetic. And they don't want us to say colorful. It's colorful. It's that. Enjoy it to be colorful. It's like when you go to see an animation, you want it to be colorful. You want it to be animated. And this kind of has the same feeling. This is a movie that you go to watch, that bombastic musical, and the colors and the people with the dresses and everybody dancing in the street, and is a fun time to have when you want to get that. But when you want to turn off your brain, you will go to another movie. And Fast and the Furious 9, maybe that's the good movie to turn off your brain, just to see fast cars and macho men and the stupid shit going blowing on screen, and that's all.
Yeah, that's literally all that film is, really. Yeah.
And In the Heights has more about family than Fast and the Furious. Let me tell you that.
It has a heart, I'd say.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And the Fast and the Furious is all about family. Family.
Hey, let's wrap it up.
Cool. All right, then. So, Paulie, Tom, Pablo, do you guys got any final thoughts you want to chuck in then before I close this down for Paulie?
No, not real. Oh, go ahead, Pablo. Since you do, I was just going to say not really. I just I can't wait to hear Paulie's feature coverage on this. Go ahead, Pablo.
Okay, just go and watch this movie. It's a fun time, and if you feel like it's not worth of your time, there's Fast and the Furious. So do that instead.
There you go. Paulie, any final thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I'm gonna see it tonight. I'll probably do a review early morning. I'm really curious about some things now after this discussion and the article. So look out for that. And thank you so much to everyone in the chat, to the panel, and to people that threw out super chats on the road. I'll do one tomorrow as well. Where I'm not driving, I'll be at my hotel.
Nice. Cool. All right then. So yeah, everybody keep an eye out for Paulie's review. It's been fun hosting this little stream for Paulie, and I hope I haven't messed it up too much for you. So yeah, I'll. Sorry, Paulie.
You did great.
Thanks,
Take care, kids.
Thank you. All right then. So here come the slant credits. Peace and love, everybody.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. The slant. All right, Paul, let's go.
You're still running.